Thanks for tuning in to Bourbon Drop. I'm your host, Myron. Today, we've got Elijah Craig C923. This is 2 out of the 3 that I've been looking for. You guys know I've been searching this thing down since I did my last hunt video. Yes, it's been elusive, but shout out to my man Brad, man, and shout out to his wife because she was the one who picked it up for him. And I'll go through that whole story in a second, but look, I finally got it. Elijah Craig C923. You see the smile on my face. Let's get it.
Bottom drop, bottom drop, bottom drop.
Before we get started, I apologize for the guys who had issues trying to buy the book. It is back up and running. He made sure that the coupon code was back up and running. I went in myself before he went in and checked it. I was able to buy it from a desktop, so I believe that the issue that some of you guys were having is that you may have been trying to purchase it from a phone. There's a box that you have to check and pick certain pictures. It wants to make sure you're not a robot, so that could have been a problem. But it is the Bourbon Lover's Almanac, 21 essential facts for the bourbon connoisseur. It's got 21 cocktails. It is a very short, easy, and entertaining read. It is only 34 pages. Once again, go back in. $4.95 with the coupon code Bourbon331. I told you I was going to go over what happened, so shout out to Brad, shout out to his wife, and shout out to the bourbon that has finally joined its brethren in the angel share, because Brad had quite an incident. Brad was loading up some bottles and I was supposed to get a C923, and I was supposed to get a Parker's Heritage Rye and quite a few other bottles, Michter's 10. Brad had one hell of a day down in Kentucky. And let's just say I'm glad that he pretty much picked up 2 of everything, because the bottom of the box fell out. Look, it's not funny. And Brad was sick to his stomach, and I felt for him, man. That is something really, really rough to go through. So, you know, we are finally going to get this thing reviewed. I just had to give him a quick shout out, him and his wife a quick shout out for finally helping me get the C923. And I probably have the cellar age coming too. Let's get into the nose. Okay. I told you guys I get a dusty oak, but it's got a sweetness to it. I get a dusty oak, almost a hint of a cherry in this one too. And I went back, of course I had to go back and look at my reviews because they were shot months ago. B523, I think it was a couple months ago. The A123 was shot, I think like 7-8 months ago. But I am starting to get cherry out of these Elijah Craigs. There's a dusty oak, there's a cherry. And like I said, in A123, there was a little bit of an apple. And that's pretty much it. Now, this thing comes in at 133 proof right on the nose. It is 66.5 ABV, 13 years, 7 months old. And everybody was tripping off of the age for B523 being 11 and a half years old. I loved it. I thought it was great. It to me, and I'm gonna have to put them in a blind, but to me, A and B were great. They were pretty much neck and neck. I didn't do a side-by-side because I wanted to wait until the end of the year. I've got a little bit out of this glass set to the side because at the end of this review, I am going to do a side-by-side and give you which one I thought or think is the best of all 3. Let's go back into the nose one more time. That ethanol does hit you in the face. I haven't had a drink in probably 4 days. I think this is my first drink of the day. I am hoping that 133 does not kill me. Let's go into the palate. Wow. Wow. That was like a very, very, very sweet, like sugar, table sugar. Then the oak just punched me. The proof punched me. Like I said, not having some in about 4 days and going straight to 133 proof, oh man, it kicked me in the nose. There's almost like this sweet green apple that's sitting on the front of the tongue now. There's a heavy cream on the mid. I'm picking up char on the back. Let's go back into the nose one more time. That apple is gone. That apple is gone. A little bit of that cherry is there. Just like a dusty oak. Let's go back into the palate. It is very, very sweet up front. Very explosive up front. It's got like this, almost like when you bite into a golden apple up front. It's very sugary sweet, but then it's like, wow, it's just like everything just hits you all at once. There's a very heavy cream and chocolate now that's sitting on the mid. I am picking up way more chocolate on that second sip. It was not there on the first sip. It was more of a heavy cream. Now it is more heavy cream, chocolate, and the char rides a little bit from the mid to the back, but it's not much char across the back. And that is funny because this thing right here is 13 years, 7 months old, and I swear I pick up char out of things that are way younger than this. I don't want to keep you guys for a very long time. I am going to get into the side-by-side of all three of them, but first of all, we got to get into the breakdown. Is the new C923 coming in at 13 years, 7 months worth the chase? Yes. You guys know I'm a fan of Elijah Craig. I'm going to give it to you real anyway, but this thing is definitely worth the chase. Is it worth over retail? Brad's wife paid a pretty penny. I'm not going to go into it. They did get him for close to retail down in Kentucky, but the mishap happened. So anyway, I believe it's worth over retail. I would pay over retail for this bottle. You guys know I would do my 30 over retail, maybe even more. Because at 13 years, just to have a backup of something from Elijah Craig that is not a unicorn, like a Heaven Hill 17 or Heaven Hill 20, hint, hint, might be getting one of those. It's just having a great backup to have. At 13 years, you don't know when you'll ever see another Elijah Craig at, you know, a little over 13 and a half years old. So I think even getting a backup would be a great thing. We're not even going to go into a new bourbon drinker because you know it's not going to happen. Will it always be on a bar? Unfortunately, this bottle is on loan. If I come across another one, I will buy it. If I see a backup, I probably will buy it and probably never open it because, like I said, it will be a cool piece of history to have. You don't know if you'll ever get anything this old from Elijah Craig again. They are a little tight-lipped on how they're doing their releases now. So just because they aren't 12 years old doesn't mean they aren't good, but you might get one that's like 15 years old. We don't know what the future holds. Now, let me get the table set up and get into the side-by-side. Now that I've got the table set up, we will go ahead and get these things spun up. So now I've got A123 coming in at 125.6 proof. I've got B523 coming in at 124.2 proof, and it is 11 years, 5 months old, pretty much close to 11 years 6, which is about 11 and a half years old. And then of course we've got the star of the show tonight, the one that is front and center, C923 coming in at 133 proof and 13 years, 7 months old. Let me get these things situated. We'll get a blind going. All right, so first up, color. I mean, they all pretty much look the same. You can hold them up, and I'm gonna be honest with you, they all pretty much look the same in color. We'll get into the nose first. Oaky, creamy. Maybe a little bit of light cherry and apple. The ethanol is hitting hard in that one. That might be the 133. That might be the 133 that I just came off of. Oaky. I don't know what it is. That one has a little bit more of a maple note. I don't know what it is about the Heaven Hill products. I get like, even in the, what is it, Evan Williams 100, it's like this oakiness, and that might be why. I mean, I do like a nice oak, don't get me wrong, but because it adds complexity, like a little bit of like savoriness, but I don't like it to be over oak like the Elijah Craig Toasted. Oak, a slight maple note, and a tinge of vanilla. Oh, that smells proofy too. Wow. Wow. This one smells proofy too. Definitely a lot of ethanol. This one smells very similar to glass 1. There is like a cherry / apple note going on. All right, let's get into the palate. Nice. It's drying. I'm getting a dark cherry, almost like a black cherry on that one now. Yeah, it's like a black cherry, like a black cherry Coke. It's sweet on the mid, a little bit of char on the mid to the back, and it's got a nice mouthfeel, but it is a little dry. Same mouthfeel. That one comes off as a little more sharp, like it's got a little more of a bite to it. And I don't know, that could be the B, because the B was a little sharper to me. That's sharp. It's charry. It's a little drying. It's a little more earthy than glass 1. All right, glass 3. I don't know what it is. Lately, I've been getting kind of a dill note, and like I get like a slight hint of like vinegar and dill, but then I get a nice light cream. Proofy, sharp, cherry, charry, drying. This one is actually in 3rd place. Give me a second. I'm gonna go back in between these two. All right, I'm ready to tell you guys the placement of these three glasses. So, 3rd is on A. A123 came in 3rd. Wow. Wow, okay. 2nd place goes to B. B523. B523. And I thought these were closer. You know, when I watched my review, I thought these two were closer because they had the same notes. A lot of that like cherry and apple. This one tonight just came off, it just came off different. This one came off different. Actually, B and C came off being closer. I'm gonna have to give number 1 to C. So let me put these in place so you see what they are. C, A, B. And honestly, B just came off just a little sharper tonight. And it's actually got, you can see the air in the bottle. So it's got some air in the bottle. I would have thought it would have rounded out by now, but it's still quite sharp, man. C came out on top tonight. The 133 was it just did it for me. They were closer than I thought. They were way closer than I thought, especially with this one being such high of a proof. I expected these two to drink just a touch softer. They did not, especially B. B drank hot. I mean, it had me questioning. I was like, I know these two are in the 120s. I was like, B and A are in the 120s. I felt like I had two that were in the 130s up here. So look, you see which one came out on top. This is a highly talked about bottle. If you get a chance to come across one and get your hands on one, I say purchase it. And with that being said, let the whiskey flow. Never run out, let you head it to a drop. Till next time.